Hey YouTube, Mochismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Today I want to talk about dismissiveness. 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 I'm not going to talk about the narcissist being dismissive because they are a walking contradiction. We know this. What I want to expound on today is the empaths, chosen ones. Our ability, uncanny ability to dismiss things and behaviors by way of other people, just for the sake that we are decent human beings, okay? We are dismissing things simply because we are decent human beings. Who said that was the criteria for pretending something didn't happen or to push something under the rug? You know, before I experienced or I became aware that I had experienced narcissist and the behavior, the insidious behavior of them deliberately trying to destroy my life, as opposed to what the world says, oh, they toxic, this and that. See, that's true in part, but as a whole, most toxic people are narcissists. So before I discovered the narcissist and the abuse that they inflict upon us, I myself believe I was a very dismissive person by way of allowing other people to do things and not so much not call them out on it, but forgiving and letting it slide. Now, this is a big part of how I was raised. I was raised in the Christian circle, Christian church. But what I began to see very quickly, even before the narcissist, that the very people who were promoting forgiveness and to let bygones be bygones, let God take care of them, excuse me, they themselves were not wholeheartedly doing the thing that they encouraged and imposed on other people. So they, in essence, taught me not only that what they were telling me to do, they wasn't doing themselves, that in their whole dialogue, they were actually saying, I'm going to let it go. God going to fix them. God going to take care of it. With the aggression in their voice. I began to learn quickly that I knew that dismissiveness was not a thing for me. However, as I just said, we all, I believe, at some point or another, have been dismissive. Some more than others. Some on the extreme side. And this is what opens us up to the narcissist both coming into our life, insulating themselves in our life, in our affairs, and thereby destroying us and creating havoc in our life. So, what am I really saying now? We're here now. I believe the dismissiveness before the narcissist was the dismissiveness that I allowed myself to. And I believe people in the church who imposed this were probably predominantly narcissists too. But hypocrites. I do believe that there was something innate to my nature that just didn't sit well for me to just allow myself to dismiss any and everything. And by that being the case, that I didn't believe that that was a normal thing for me by way of forgiving and looking over other people's offenses towards me. Not in a hateful way, but just not to let that slide. Pay attention to that. it began in my life to make me pay attention to myself as an individual, how I wanted to be able to bring myself to the table. I didn't want to not be responsible for what I did and what I said and how I behaved by way of offending other people or doing something towards other people. That kind of helped mold me into the person that I am today. Although I'm lacking in many areas of my life, I believe I tend to hold fast to accepting and owning what I do, what I say, how I behave. Even though it may not be a good character all the time, I can right way understand that I played this part in this, I accept this part I played in this. Empaths, chosen ones, you must introspect, look within yourself. Start looking at the things that you are doing by way of dismissiveness. Because if you don't look within yourself and look at the inventory of self about being dismissive of things that you know in and of yourself, nobody has to tell you. And this is what introspecting comes in at. You're brainstorming how you move, what you do, how you live. And this is also going to open doors of retrospect of how you were raised, what you have bought into, to where your convictions lie now. And if you find that your convictions are very weak, they're very shallow, very superficial, very people-pleasing, you're only doing the right thing because it's what people expect of you, that's what I mean. That self-conviction, if it's not there yet, you really have to work on that in order to come to a place of being able to be keen on things that people try to dismiss. You see what I'm saying? So you have to see what dismissiveness looks like in your own life, in your own affairs, in your own decision making. And then you can thereby understand and detect. It'll become second nature for you to see by the very way that a person may speak in conversation. You will be able to understand that this person in a very strong way is a dismissive person. And that in itself will possibly save you from that engagement that you're about to undertake. Because you could very well be about to undertake an engagement, relationship, friendship of sorts with the narcissist, a narcissist. It's kind of like I'm saying this. Before you go in the house, you'll be able to smell the gas leak, because your nose will have become very keen as to what natural gas smells like. I saw a TikTok or a YouTube video of police had a standoff on an individual in a house. This was just last night. And they were yelling, you know, their regular spiel, come out, come out, come out with your hands up, blah, 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 blah. And a few seconds went by, all of a sudden the whole house exploded. I've never seen a house explode like this. And this was a brick house, 2 or 3 stories. The way this house exploded was not even like dynamite. It exploded like there was maybe 100-gallon, 200, 300-gallon natural gas tank that was ignited. And I was reading all the comments, and I'm going to be very honest with you. The comments were hilarious. And this is where dismissiveness comes in, or normalizing. We laugh at some things such as this as a tragedy. We never saw a person, but we do know you have to believe somebody got Somebody lost their life in there, if not many people. And there, a couple of comments went like this. Excuse me, pardon me, but I'm gonna try to remember a couple. One comment said, "Police," in quotation, "come out with your hands up. Come out of the house." To some degree, it said, "Come out the house," and he said, he said, "What house?" And so it went on because the house was non-existent. These are the things that we become so dismissive of, and it becomes comical, and we begin to normalize society as a whole doing dumb things, doing heinous things, doing dark things, destructive things. You know, laughter is a very, very big part of the human nature. A narcissist rarely laughs, by the way. They're not normal. But laughter is a beautiful thing. But there are some things that I know in and of myself I shouldn't laugh about, although I'm wired to some degree that way because of the world I've lived in so many years of my life. And now I know some things are just not that funny. And the more we think things are comical, you'll see a video of a girl in a restaurant getting in a fight with the girl in the McDonald's, and all of a sudden a fight ensues, and they're pulling each other's weave and their hair and dragging the girl across the floor, and people are laughing about it, videoing it. And then the comments just come in and they just flow and flow and flow. And I try to abstain from that type of stuff, but I surf the web. And I'm not saying life's supposed to be all poker face. I guess what I'm really saying in the bigger grand scheme of things, if we don't start to take things a little more serious in life, in this world where everybody think everything's a joke, this is where dismissiveness is allowed to run rampant in our life. And thereby we're not able to guard the fort of our heart in determining whether we are about to ensue a partnership or relationship with a narcissist. Be watchful, be wise. And in many cases, I need for you guys to just work on the introspect to see if you have a dismissive nature of your own, and work on that. And that way you're able to see the narcissist coming. That being said, bless.